What is up, YouTube fam? Robbie C here, and today we are going to talk about that get out of jail free card, that idea when, a lot of us just seem to not do what we're hoping to do when we're on the tee box out there on the course. So when you're finding it difficult to get from tee box to green, how do you manage just, being better at tee shots or being better at putting? There has to be a way that we can find success out on the course. So today we're going to give you 5 tools that you can add to your toolbox or the repertoire of shots that you have in your bag to find success on the course. But the real secret is, I'm not going to teach most of them. We have some special guests for that.
So the first one we're going to talk about is the step out forehand. I'm going to do 2 variations. This short one here to the basket, obviously I don't want to throw to the left. I'm going to take a putter. For me, it's more comfortable for me to use a fan grip on my putters. I don't want this thing wobbling because it's really important from this range to get spin on the disc. So I'm going to need a lot of wrist snap. You basically control this shot with your wrist. We're going to make sure we leave it nice and high to the left with the anhyzer. Let it coast back in. You want to make sure that your hips aren't too far away from the shot here. We're basically forward with the line that we want to hit with the wrist. Let's give it a go. Now we're a bit further away. We're going to disc up. Don't be afraid of disking up, and don't be afraid of going more understable because we're not going to be able to get as much into the shot. So I've actually disked up to my essence from here. We want to make sure that when we prepare this shot that our hips have mobility. That's mostly based on this foot right here. If you go forward, you're going to arm the shot. We flare this foot out. We're more open to the target here, not closing our hips off. And then similar, we're going to use a little bit more arm action, but we've got the hips nice and open to the line. Find your initial line out to the right here and let it coast back in. It'd be really nice if I did it correctly. Try again. Yeah, here's what I didn't do. I didn't trust the hand enough. You have to go through the hit here.
We in?
That'd be cool if it did. All right, we're up and down.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Josiah with Swanky Disc Golf, and I'm here to teach you about some overhand throws, or commonly known as hammer throws. Very commonly used in scramble shots, mostly, and that is most of the time I use it. I know a lot of people who use them off the tee. We're just here in an open parking lot. We're gonna do it on this basket over here. First things first, when would I use an overhand? Most commonly, it is if I am looking at the option and it's a wall of trees. And the next thing I do is I look up and see if I have any shots available for me in the air. Commonly, I'll look to the left because if I'm using an overhand, I want to throw an overhand will pan out from left to right. And so I look up to the left to see if there's anything I can throw in the air. In this case, there's nothing in the way, but I'm looking for something that's gonna pan out and settle, basically a left to right shot that a forehand or backhand wouldn't work for. So that's the time that I'm looking for an overhand. The next thing is, what disc am I going to use? Typically, I want something that is a little bit more neutral. Nothing overstable, nothing understable. An overstable disc won't pan enough, and understable disc will flip too much. So I want something that's right in the middle. So here I'm going to use my Fission Reactor, just to explain. As far as grip goes, I usually just do the traditional forehand grip. So just 2 fingers, nice and easy. And the last thing is what I'm thinking through when I throw this shot. The most important thing that I'm thinking of is, where am I aiming? This is not the same where I'm working where on my form on a flick or a release. I'm looking at more throwing it in the air almost like a baseball. So I'm not trying to throw specifically at a tree or at the basket. I'm trying to find that target in the air that I'm looking at aiming. So for here, basket's down there. I'm looking at aiming up here towards the trees, essentially, because I want it to pan down to the right. So we'll give it a try. Something like that. Now, typically, wall of trees. And so you would want to find something that would get in the air, that would get around those trees, and it'll knife through all the trees vertically, and then just softly land under the basket.
What's up, guys? Alden Harris here, professional disc golfer with Team Prodigy. The next scramble shot we're going to be talking about is the forehand roller. This specific scenario, you can see there's a lot of trees. There's not many shots. So this would be a good time to go with the forehand roller because when you throw it, it's completely vertical. So if it's like this, there's a pretty likelihood of it hitting a tree, but it's like this, has a high likelihood of hitting a small gap, which is what we want here. My grip, I grip forehand rollers the same way I grip forehands, which is the 2 fingers like this. So in this specific spot, I think I'm gonna try to hit this gap because it seems like the biggest gap. And I'm also gonna try to kind of finesse it. It's not a super long shot. So I'm just gonna try to lob it through this gap and try to make it hit. I'm gonna focus on the angle it hits on the ground, try to hit it vertical so it'll have a nice controlled little roll and then it'll spin up to the basket. If you hit the angle a little bit wrong, if you hit it anything but vertical, if you hit it like this, it's probably gonna go that way. So I think the miss here is to hit it more, if you're gonna miss one of the angles, make it hit more this side. So it'll curl towards the basket. Oh, so that shot, I threw it pretty much perfect, hit the tiniest little twig at the end, but happens sometimes. We're gonna try it again. Oh yeah, perfect, gotta tap in.
For the 4th shot, we're gonna talk about patent pending. I'm cut off here from the basket, so the most room I can create is by stepping out this way. Now, it's really important how you step out. I see a lot of people step out and they put their heel against the disc here and they step out this way, completely cutting the hips off from the shot. And now you have to arm it and pull behind you. It's really important that you try to get your toe back here sideways so that we can have our hips at least mobile here and out of the way. They're not going to do that much because we're compromised, but we want to make sure that they're not working against us. Similar to that forehand stretch out approach, this is a lot of the speed of the hand, and people get in trouble when they start trying to do way too much with the body. What's most important here is that you figure out your line and you figure out where this last out is going to go, and you commit to this hit here. And if this hit goes right, the rest of the shot goes right. So I'm going to practice my line here, make sure I pop my hand out. I need to throw it forward, and I really need to commit to right here. See if I can get this. That's good. Circle. Then you got to make your putt.
So our 5th shot, and probably the one that most people should and honestly need to have in their bag over the rest of them, because these are all fantastic shots taught by fantastic people. So definitely go check them out in the links below. Do not get trapped into the hero mentality, because if you throw these shots well that we just taught, so often you can feel like, well, because I know I have this in my bag, I have to go for it. If you forget about using this shot right here, number 5, you are going to see some bad scores hit your scorecard. Our 5th shot, and the most important scramble shot that you can have, is the pitch out. Why the pitch out works, and I don't really need to talk into the specifics of it, but why the pitch out works is that so often when you find yourself in this scenario, you have just executed a shot poorly. Your mental is already on a downward spiral because the last shot did not go according to plan. But knowing that you planned to pitch out and throwing that shot correctly to the middle of the fairway means that you have executed a shot in the way that you planned. Therefore, when you step up to that shot, you've given yourself good footing. You've given yourself a positive spin on the round. You're already moving back in the direction of, I can execute a shot. So when you find yourself looking for that hero moment, always keep the pitch out in mind, because it can save you so many strokes and once again get you back on that positive mental focus of executing a shot correctly. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't worry, if you're interested on any of these shots, let me know in the comments down below, because what we're going to do is we're going to make 5 separate videos diving into the intricacies of these shots so that we can spend a little more time fleshing these out. Let me know which ones you want to see first in that order.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a great day. Make it great for someone else. And for now, we're going to leave you with the birdie.